The Handmaid's Tale, Veep, Big Little Lies, and Saturday Night Live were among the big winners at this year's Emmy Awards. Julia Louis-Dreyfus made history, taking home her 6th consecutive win for her role in Veep. Alec Baldwin won an Emmy for his portrayal of President Donald Trump on SNL. And Kate McKinnon won for her work on SNL. She said playing Hillary Clinton was the greatest honor of her life. But a new survey shows that, outside really of SNL, many people are not actually watching the Emmy-nominated shows. So what they did was a survey about 500 adults, half of which had streaming services like Netflix or Hulu. And they found that a lot of people are not watching these shows. So the most watched shows still on broadcast.
Right.
Almost everyone had heard of the 3 main shows that were nominated. The most watched show on a streaming service was Stranger Things, which I think a lot of us heard about, got a little bit of buzz in the media.
About that show,
but
yeah.
Allie, only 21% of people actually watched that show.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to any type of streaming service, so I don't have Netflix or HBO or any of that. I have heard of some of these, but a lot of them, I'm just like, what are these shows? Who is watching them? And I know that Netflix does have around 50 million subscribers, but it's still a smaller number compared to the amount of people who can watch CBS, ABC, and NBC.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that, maybe they binge watch one of these shows, but it's just such a small number compared to so many other people.
Yeah, I mean, the big winner of the night, Handmaid's Tale, only 5% of people had ever even seen
I've never
that
even
show.
heard of that show.
And that's the other part of it, is not only are people not watching, they haven't even heard of a lot of this.
There's a real disconnect out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you follow along on Facebook and social media, you get this idea that, like, everyone is watching Game of Thrones, and if you don't, you're like...
Well, 26 million people did watch the first show of Game of Thrones for this new season. It's
Which-
a lot of people.
That's a lot. That is a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Netflix says, right?
According to Fortune, I think.
Or
was the number.
Fortune, yeah, I don't know. Like, we just don't know. A lot of these shows, if they were on broadcast television, they would be a bomb.
Oh, yeah,
It'd be
completely.
And they'd never work, right? And this is what award shows do. We see this
can't
with...
have nudity on television.
No,
and that's what Game
and
of
some of these
Thrones has.
storylines are so weird where you're like, could you imagine putting this on CBS? People would be like,
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
what? Like the Handmaid's Tale? What is the storyline of that bit?
Oh, do you want me to get into this futuristic kind of crazy world? I can't.
It's
I can't start
crazy.
talking about it.
But that doesn't mean it's not. I mean, these shows that
Entertaining.
there's not necessarily a correlation between huge audience and critically appreciated,
Yeah.
right? The weird thing is TV, the Emmys used to be more like that because just the popular shows on broadcast also were
Won the
critically
Emmys.
acclaimed. But there's so many more shows
I think that
now,
people,
so it's just different.
I think Netflix and even with HBO with Big Little Lies, for people, the actresses, and I think in that case, I think it was Nicole Kidman who said, I want to be a part of this program.
Yeah.
And then that's a space for them to really take off and
Sure.
to air that limited series.
Makes
Because if you think
sense,
about 7 episodes,
It's a small number
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah.
But when you have a big name actress or 2 of them in that case, maybe you get more people to watch.
We're cranking out 5 shows a week.
yeah,
Like,
just watch CBS. Although I did really like Big
We
Little Lies.
definitely
If you want
have
to try
20
one
million viewers.
right now.